when this kid drags them out to do some digging and they get attacked by this
I
big,
never got a name of it. I dug
I
and
don't
I
know.
dug and I dug, and so I was digging for water and I couldn't get any water.
I think it's a new creature.
It was a terrible
You did not like the look of this thing, huh?
looking creature. I mean, when he was like, I already referenced the original Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't good CGI. There was, I mean,
No.
the whole thing was just, it was CW.
So like, I know what they were going for. It looked very much like an old school stop motion animation, Ray Harryhausen, like Jason and the Argonauts, like cinema from way back when. Like I know what the look they were going for, and I just don't think it fit with. It doesn't look like any other Tatooine creature we've ever seen before.
The first thing I thought when I seen the claw, and I gasped. I was like, this is going to be badass if this is what I thought it was. I thought it was going to be a crate dragon.
I was thinking that too. When you first see like the spine and the arm and
because
stuff,
that's something that the Tusken Raiders are completely fearful of.
Yeah.
So if they would have ran into that out there, that would have been awesome. What we got was semi okay.
We have no idea what we got. We got some kind of weird special effect, and
then he was choked out like Boba was. Not Boba, like Jabba was.
Yeah.
With a chain over his neck. And I mean, I don't know how they got the head off because I didn't see a sword. I seen maybe a knife the little guy was carrying.
I was wondering that myself. Like he had a little wooden gaffy stick and they had the chain. How the heck? Kind of like Clark Griswold with the Christmas tree there.
I love the reference. That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of a wonder. But so yeah, they do get the head off and they go back to the tribe, which the tribe leader knew right away that it wasn't the little kid that did that.
Oh yeah, no, and Boba let him do it.
Yeah.
He just walked up and let the kid run into the town and show it and basically say how he did it was just based on what Boba did.
Yeah.
And Boba's just standing there with chains in hand. And then that leader guy walks over and hands him some water.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're one of us.
Exactly. Yeah. You can take a seat by the fire here. Basically, he's one of them. Yeah.
Let's see a little bit of that scene we're speaking of here.
So that's where they leave it as far as him and the Tusken Raiders. Like we said before, I hope that's actually where they leave it entirely. We can all make the conclusion as far as what happened next, how Boba Fett pulled himself up and became a badass again, like how we saw him in The Mandalorian when he came back. I hope that's it, and I hope episode 2 they really get to the nitty gritty of what's going on here in Tatooine and the power struggle there.
But I don't want it to be the end of the Tusken Raiders.
Right, I don't either.
That's a whole nother group of people that I want to learn a lot more from.
Yeah.
And if he is actually in that good with him, they could kind of be his muscle,
his eyes, ears. They
exactly.
Could be, he could offer them like protection because he's probably going to have. If he didn't have that relationship with the Tusken Raiders before, he definitely has that kind of relationship with the Tusken Raiders now. They basically saved him. They saved his life, and he's only walking around because of them. And yeah, I believe that too. Like I want to see him using this newfound power as taking his chances to protect Tusken Raiders. I thought
because they're not exactly weak at all. So if you have strength with strength, you're running Tatooine.
Yeah.
From basically the whole planet itself. You're not just stuck in Mos Espa. You got I'm blanking on this other city.
There's Mos Eisley, Mos Espa.
Thank you. Yeah. So I mean, you're running all the big ports.
Yeah.
And then if all these other like crime lords and lackeys are coming in there, they got to pay respects to the two of you who are running this side by side, because you can't run deep in the desert where they can run. They can control that area. You can control the cities.
Right.
And, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. We're both going to be fine here.
Yeah, exactly. And the Tusken Raiders have such a mystique in the Star Wars universe already. Like if you're on Tatooine and if you're not within a city, then you need to watch out for the Tusken Raiders, because they're like, it went a long way in The Mandalorian when Din Djarin was able to actually speak their language and talk to them and treat them as people. and not just as like, these terrifying beings that you got to avoid. Like Din Djarin was actually able to communicate with them, which was like a way for us to be super impressed with Din Djarin like immediately. Like, oh
Yeah.
wow, he actually talks to these guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you said, there was a respect he gave them
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
And when he did that, the brashness from them fell away real quick.
Yeah.
He was able to sit around the fire and talk to him and everything. So if Boba can actually do the same thing,
Yeah.
which I think I am more confident in Boba doing it than I was with Din,
Oh,
because
sure.
we see that there is a history between these two now.
Yeah, he was actually like it seems like he was actually accepted into one of their tribes. So that's
Yeah.
that's a pretty big deal.